What's going on, guys? Cody and Paul back with you, Ditch Panda Bass Fishing. Today, we're going to be talking all about what might be the most depressing time of the year for bass fishing.
On that note,
that's the post-spawn. Let's get into it.
Dadgum ditch panda.
So, the bass have moved up. Most of them have spawned. Maybe half of them have spawned. Maybe they've all spawned. But it starts to get real sad out there.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, they're recovering.
Yeah, they're hurting.
They had a, they did a bunch of work.
They lived it up.
Yeah.
They fought off things.
They partied.
They got drug off their beds by people sight fishing.
Right. Yeah. They were guarding their children.
Yeah. And got kidnapped.
Right.
Lots
of things.
It's inherently an extremely tough and frustrating time of the year to bass fish.
But it doesn't have to be if you have the right baits tied on and you utilize the same plan of attack in reverse.
Yeah.
From the pre-spawn.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you know where they're going, that's in your corner. If you can just tell yourself that you're gonna get the bites if you just keep on keeping on, and it doesn't have to be as terrible as we've all thought of or people have made it sound in the past. You still can catch fish.
Yeah, I mean, the bass are definitely more shot out. They're recovering big time. They're thin. They haven't eaten. They've been only dealing with spawn stuff. Yeah. You know, they've been making sure the wife's okay, the kids are okay, everybody's home on time. They're the, you know, they just don't eat. Yeah. You know, everybody is real busy doing spawn stuff.
Yeah.
So, but the same things you did to find those fish in the pre-spawn, you're going to do the same things. Whoop. You got to roll it on back.
Yep. They take the same way out that they did on the way in.
I mean, it's literally like to the T.
Yeah.
It's like a one-way street that reverses.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to just, if you found a spawning flat or a bay on your lake that had a bunch of beds in it, a bunch of fish spawning in it, if you go all the way back there and then just stepped on back to
secondary points,
structure on the way in, points, humps, rock piles on the way in, and you can just bounce back all the way, head towards the main lake, and just take each one.
And that's why we, as well as a lot of people, a lot of other folks on YouTube, they'll tell you waypoints, waypoints, waypoints. There's a reason why when you catch a fish, you mark it.
Yeah.
Especially, well, for sure in the pre-spawn and the pre-spawn. There's a reason, and it's because you're building your highway.
You're building a roadmap to your success.
Oh, stop it! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go with the college rule kind of, thought process there. I'm gonna go with construction worker process.
Both works.
Right. Gets the same place. All you're doing is building a map within the map that you already have. So if you caught them on certain points, on certain stumps, on certain rock piles, on certain cover, whatever it was, you're going to find them there again. And it's just going to be really based on the time that you get there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like they take not a specific time back, but I mean, you got to remember, not every bass spawns at the same time.
Right.
So this can be something that goes on for months.
Yeah, I mean,
in some parts of the country.
Yeah, if you get to your lake, maybe you haven't been there in a while. If you get to your lake and you get back to that big spawning bay, spawning flat, and there's no more bass on beds, you can be sure that at least the last wave to come up to spawn is in post spawn.
Right.
Like that's your worst case scenario.
Right.
Maybe they're all done and they've all now either split and gone off to the deep water or split and come back up to shallow water, but you should be able to see some cruising then.
Yeah, and the thing is, guys, it's all relative to your lake,
Absolutely,
to the body of water. So, like, we could be talking about 100 yards.
Yeah,
we could also be talking about a mile
or 4.
Right. I mean, on your big deep water reservoirs like Shasta here in California.
Some of those like arms on
big,
Smith and
right.
Like, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about stuff that goes back literally for miles. There's like the Sacramento River arm, I think is 10 or 12 miles from the main lake. So you're talking about, you can hit all those points. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Or you could be talking about a pretty lowland reservoir lake with not a lot of contour. It just gets deep. There's still contour. Got to find it. It's a little more subtle. But you'd be talking about a spawning flat that's like between that and deep water that's 100 yards.
Absolutely.
And there's maybe 4 rock piles between those. Hit every one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're going to find them somewhere there, right? 100%. You're also going to find them, like Cody said, you're going to see them pushed up shallow.
Yeah.
So, again, start where he said. Start right there on those spawning bays, on those spawning flats where you saw them on beds, and just
work backwards.
Pull your head up, and just look. Just check your surroundings, and make a guess.
Yeah.
Or well.
Make an educated decision.
You don't have to if you have points that you've already marked in the pre-spawn.
Yeah.
So again,
because you've already built the roadmap to your success.
What's the first bait? The first bait for your roadmap.
The first bait for my roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw this out there. We just picked a few baits out here that work. I know a lot of guys don't, and for me, I downsize and post spawn. I know Paul does too. It's just a matter of not having a frustrating day.
Yeah, the thing is, like, well, okay, so manage your expectations, right?
Yeah.
So if you get there, I'm always gonna throw something small first. If I start getting bit, I'm gonna upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get bigger, right? That only because I want to see if I can catch a better class of fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but why not start small? Because you know you're going to get bit if you go something small, light wire, light line, and just see what's going on. You're going to figure out if they're biting easier with smaller stuff.
Absolutely. Let's move into a few baits just for your post spawn action here. I'm gonna start with the Finesse Jig. Those, semi-deep, you might be, depending on your lake, obviously you might be in 8 to 25 foot of water. Those points stepping back out of those spawning flats or spawning bays. A Finesse Jig gives a smaller presentation, and it works those points and rock piles especially well, brush piles. You can present this bait to the bass however they want it. You can drag it slow, you can hop it. You've heard us talk about them a lot, I know. But you really can give them what they want. You go with a more compact trailer. This one's a little long, but quick tip for the harder days fishing. If you have plastics, let me see if I can get them here. If you have plastics that have these appendages that need to be torn off, one trick is I just won't tear them off on the harder to fish days.
Right, subtle.
Instead of buying 300 different trailers where this one has less action, this one has a swimming action, this one has a hard kicking action. I'll pull these ones and I'll leave these two at the bottom. That way it's just less action. Instead of these things crazy going like this, you got little tiny ones and then
they're gonna move together. Yeah, that's a good tip.
It's just a little less action. Maybe when they're more finicky, you can get more bites that way.
Also, cut that thing in half, guy.
Yeah, I would.
We just put the main.
It was for the purpose of for the purposes of training.
Right. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. But you need it more compact. I also trim the weed guard a little bit too.
Yeah, I
don't like it
past the barb.
Yeah, I go a lot shorter there, so we're cutting quite a bit of that off. It's just a more compact deal. Again, you want it to kind of soak. This is where I get really sometimes I get bummed out because you got to let stuff soak a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I'm a power guy, so
if you're throwing
you know,
this finesse jig on a spinning tackle, you definitely want to worry a little bit more about your weed guard. You want to get one. This one's pretty easy. I think this is the New Tech. Is that what it's called? Heads. This is one I made. Don't judge me. They're pretty soft. You want to make sure it's not super hard because you're just not gonna be able to get to it with a spinning rod. Yeah, and like Paul said, you can trim it up. I don't like it to go past the barb. I'll trim them up right to the barb of the hook. I know some guys will cut them at an angle, cut them even shorter. If you don't have a whole lot of grass and stuff you're fishing these around, and you've mainly fished these around rock. And
yeah, I mean, you could even take some of this out.
Yeah, you can just pull some of them out.
So that it's easier for these things to move down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many ways, so many things you can do with a jig. It's awesome.
It's crazy.
Actually. And like he said, don't buy a billion of them. Just find one you like and do what you want with the skirt. You can always buy skirts. That's easy. So,
yep, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to talk about a swim bait because I love them.
Because we never talk about those.
I love them big and small. Yeah, right? We never talk about these. Yeah. So this is your Keitech Easy Shiner 4-inch. I also like the 3-inch, although the 3-inch I'll generally use on, the 3-inch I use for a variety of things, A-Rig being one of them on the teasers. But it's great for those really small heads, like the Finesse Heads, Tactical Bass and Finesse Heads. I like to use them on the smaller Swimbait heads, obviously. 3/16.
Yeah.
That's probably as far as I go. People get crazy with
I basically
with that
just
kind
go
of stuff.
quarter.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what 90% of the stuff is that I have. There are days where you're going to have to go to a 3/16 and throw it on spinning tackle. Yeah. Underspins are great also because you can literally kind of just drag those things across the ground and you still get that flash and you get another sound.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about too. 3 or 4-inch, I hesitate to even go with a 4.
I like the 4s because I can run them on the little ball head underspins, and they're quarter rounds. They're perfect.
Easy Shiners are good because they're a lot more subtle than your
the swing impact bats.
Yeah. Right, because of all the ribs
your
you're
rage
get,
swimmers or anybody else that makes a Keitech.
Yeah, right. So that's great. Also, it's not on here because we talk about it 5,000 times, but the drop shot, and that's a good one to use for the drop shot.
Absolutely.
So you want to try and switch it up, man. Everybody throws worms, so
yeah,
you know.
I'm gonna take this next one real quick.
Okay, that's good because I'm telling you right now, I hate shaky head.
I should have grabbed the shaky head, the actual part of the shaky head.
We'll put it up right here.
Yeah, right
there.
That's a shaky head worm. This particular one is a Guggenbaits. I haven't used this one yet. I really like the profile. I like that it's flat on one side. I like that it gets pretty skinny and then has a bulbous tail, kind of like a trick worm. I like there's a lot of meat up front that I can sink the twist lock into, or just the hook in general. But shaky heads, I love them. Paul doesn't like them.
Because I don't know how to throw them. Keep going.
Yeah. He doesn't have the patience is the problem.
Yeah. I get anxious.
Yeah, but they're a great bait, and it's a bait you can throw everywhere.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, guys, just because this is this is a great bait for a shaky head, this is also a fantastic Texas rig bait.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the flat bottom. I mean, man, it is bitching.
Yeah.
Really cool. I'm going to go Ned Rig, even though I also can't stand Ned Rigs. We have a RoboWorm Ned worm here, 3-inch Ned worm. We just took this out of the package.
I'm not going to lie to you. These are the first time I've ever bought a Ned bait because I always just cut Cincos.
Yeah, and I always have used the Z-Man stuff, which is, a Laztech, and it pulls, 15 feet long, and you can use it all day. But let me tell you something, man. That color right there, this is Hologram Shad, and rightfully so. Hopefully you guys can see that.
I hope you can.
Man, that is amazing. It's got a black shot through the middle of it, a white belly that's all salted, and the rest of it's clear.
And
I got I want to eat this.
Tiny flake in it.
Right.
Tiny silver flake, not the big ones you see most of the time that you can kind of see in the tail of this, hopefully.
Yeah.
It has got just get
This thing
close
is-
so they can see that
It is
flake.
fantastic.
Like micro flake.
Yeah,
It is crazy. I've never seen. I'm excited to use those now. I'm also excited I don't have to cut Cincos anymore or bite him and make him throw up.
Yeah. So, but that is a good trick, man. I mean, honestly, if you ran out of Ned Rig, you know, Ned worms, I 100% keep all your worms. Keep all the
keep all the Cincos for
all
sure.
the Cincos, because you can cut those things in half, and that's what they become. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So this again, it's like my nemesis kind
Yeah.
of.
But if you need them desperately,
oof, yeah. I mean, guys, listen. You can power through almost every season to
don't
catch a bass.
let post spawn get you down.
Yeah. I mean,
It's done it to all of us for too long now.
yeah.
The post spawn will not win anymore.
Right. Just all you got to do is downsize and slow down.
Yep.
And that's what you do at first. See, that's what people. Every other time of year, is it funny that every other time of year, that's the last thing you do?
Yeah.
Is downsize and go slow.
Yeah, when you're not catching them.
You guys will catch way more fish by doing that out of the gate.
Yeah, well, of course.
In this time of year, especially if you know where these bass are, which we've given you some highlights, and you can find that spot and you can slow down and throw these things and take your time, you're going to find the fish, and that will give you the clues to put the rest of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
If they want something fast or big or whatever, so be it. I'm telling you, we're telling you, you're going to find them and you're going to catch more fish this way. And then you just start upgrading if you want to try and get that higher quality fish.
And again, luckily they spawn in waves. So at the most, you're going to have like maybe a couple, 3 weeks tops
Sure.
of where it's really, really rough.
They still got to eat.
Yeah. Then you got fish that are going into a summer pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, guys, we'll leave all this stuff down below in the video descriptions, at least the stuff that we really like. So a couple of each.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
jigs included. He's very particular on his jigs. So
I am.
I'm gonna let him do that, and I'll deal with a couple of the other ones. But we'll give you guys some idea, and of course the Shakey Head and that kind of thing, and some Ned Rig stuff, because we showed you the bait, but we didn't show you the actual Ned Rig itself.
Yeah, because
so
it was
it's pretty self-explanatory. But you know what?
We got videos for that.
We got videos for it, and we want to make sure you guys are taken care of as much as possible. So I don't be afraid of it.
Don't
like
give
you
up.
Said. Don't give up. Don't be afraid of it. We're pumped to be doing this.
Yeah.
For us and for you, because we learn every time we do this. So leave your comments down below. Let us know what we missed, or just let us know what you guys like. We would love to hear from you in terms of, well, anything really, but what do you guys throw?
Yeah.
Or what do you have issues with? Maybe we can help.
Maybe.
We would love to try. So put it down in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that little dingy.
A little bell.
Yeah, that little guy right there.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. As always, if you're looking for beef jerky,
That's
Baggable beef jerky. Baggable.com, at Baggable on Instagram, or at Ditch Panda Bass Fishing in our link tree. Take you right to the website. Use code DP10, get you 10% off. And all orders over $50, you get free shipping. It'll be there quick. It's like Amazon Prime almost.
And it's amazing.
It's the best beef jerky in the universe.
I mean, if you had one thing on your boat that you needed, like that you had to have in case of emergency.
Yeah, beef jerky is one of
It's
them.
toilet paper. But beef jerky also.
There's water.
It's a whole different video. I'm kidding. Beef jerky, I mean, you're going to have some, you got to eat something, man.
Yeah.
You guys got to eat something. You got to drink water. But that beef jerky is where it's at. It's protein. It's good for you. It's got some sodium in it, so it'll get you going. And they're fantastic.
Delicious.
We wouldn't tell you otherwise. We wouldn't steer you the wrong way.
Absolutely
We love
not.
you guys. That's all we got, man. Until next time, right? Or whatever.
That's it.
I mean,
Until
what do you
next
say?
time.
We love you guys. Have a good one.